What is happening, people, and welcome to today's video where we're going to be talking about stress and anxiety. And I think this is one of the most important videos that I've ever made in my entire career, because every single person watching this is either currently going through some sort of stress and anxiety, or you will in the future. And these things can wreak absolute havoc on your physical results if you do not know how to combat them. Now, do realize that there are two types of stress. There is good stress and there is bad stress. Good stress is when you're challenging yourself mentally and physically to a certain extent, like a workout. A workout's a great example of a positive stress because it releases things like dopamine and serotonin and endorphins, and all those things do great things to help combat the bad stress in your life. However, this video is going to be dealing with those hard issues that are going on that create excessive worry or angst or anxiety, stuff like relational problems with your spouse, or if you're having issues with your children, or if you're in a bad financial situation, or maybe you're grieving the loss of a loved one or a pet, or watching someone suffer. Those things are very, very tough, and if you're going through that, it can do a lot of bad things to you physically. Also, before we get any further in this video, do realize that I am not a doctor. I'm actually a graduate student studying mental health so that I can become a better coach on the mindset side of things. And I do want to become a therapist for people, primarily males, who would not normally seek out therapy because their idea of a counselor is a dude in a sweater vest that's extremely effeminate. And that's not what I'm talking about. What I want to be is the same way that I'm a coach for you physically and try to get you the best results possible in the gym. I want to become a coach for you mentally so you can get very positive outcomes in your entire life as well as with your physical performance. Now, this video is broken up into two different parts. The first one is going to be talking about the negative effects of stress and anxiety and what they do to you. And then the second part is going to be giving you a bunch of solutions. So let's jump right in. All right, number one, if you are living with chronic stress or anxiety in your life, it makes your cortisol levels rise. And when your cortisol goes up, your testosterone goes down. And when your testosterone goes down, it creates anxious feelings. So you fall into this vicious cycle of, I'm worried, so my testosterone drops. My testosterone drops, so I feel more worried. And it just goes around and around. And if you know anything about lifting and biology at all, then you'll know that it's extremely, extremely hard to make good progress in the gym if your testosterone is plummeting. Number two, stress and anxiety are very, very bad for your sleep because you end up having ruminating thoughts. If you've ever stayed up late at night or woken up in the middle of the night and couldn't get something from spinning in your head, that's exactly what I am talking about. And if you're not sleeping, then that leads me directly into number three, which is it hurts your recovery. If you are always worried, always stressed out, not sleeping well, not doing those things, then it's going to hurt your recovery. And if you cannot give your most to each and every single session that you are in the gym, then you are not going to be getting the results that you want. Number four, stress and anxiety decreases the amount of focus that you can have because your brain is busy elsewhere. And if you're not focused in the gym, you are very, very much opening yourself up to a higher risk of injury or tweaking yourself. And if you are tweaked or you have some sort of injuries, then you can't put your best effort in the gym. And if you're not putting your best effort in the gym, your results are going to go down. Number five, stress and anxiety create digestional problems. If you're worried all the time, then most likely you're either not going to want to eat whatsoever, or when you do eat, it's going to upset your stomach, you're going to feel sick all the time, or you're going to cope by binge eating, or you're not going to have the time or energy to create healthy meals, so you're going to be stopping by McDonald's or whatever your fast food fix is all the time, which is just going to wreak havoc on everything else going on inside the gym. Number six, stress and anxiety will absolutely destroy your mindset, because if you're going to the hospital all the time, or watching someone suffer, or you're going through a divorce, or whatever the case may be, then it is really, really hard to think that your bench is that important when you're dealing with such other big issues in your life. Number seven, stress and anxiety can create central nervous system fatigue, or CNS dig. And if you've ever experienced some sort of CNS fatigue, you'll know that it makes you as weak as a little kitten, and it does no good things for your training. And the reason why is because what's happening is that your sympathetic nervous system, the network involved in your fight, flight, fear, fawn response, you've all heard of this, is either constantly in a state of arousal or is getting too easily triggered, which is making you constantly in a state of being up, which means when you need to get up in the gym and flip that switch for the biggest sets or the heaviest weights or your competition, wherever's coming up, then you're unable to do that. Also, it raises your resting heart rate at all times, which means that you're constantly going to be feeling more fatigued. It's just like if you're watching the Olympics right now and you see someone going for something and you're rooting for them like a swimmer and you're like, go, 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 go. And after the race is done, you're like, whew, and you feel that release. that is going on all of the time if your brain is going through anxiety. So there's no way that you can have as much energy either physically or in your central nervous system for the important things that you want to put that energy towards as you would if you were in more calm states. And finally, number 8, if you're constantly dealing with stress and anxiety, then most likely you're gonna partake in some sort of unhealthy coping. For most people, that looks like drinking or smoking or weed or binge eating or snacking or something. I don't need to go any further in those things. You guys know exactly how harmful those things are to your progress if you're in a peak state and a great mental spot. But when you're already dealing with all of the other things that I mentioned, then if you do other coping mechanisms, it is not gonna help your physical progress whatsoever. All right, that brings us to the second part of the video where I'm gonna give you active ways that you can combat these negative forms of stress in your life. And the very first thing that I would encourage that you do is some sort of physical activity or exercise every single day, whether you feel like it or not. And I'm not saying that you need to get in the gym and absolutely kill it. Maybe that'll help, maybe it won't help. You don't really know what that's gonna do, but I am saying do what you can. Go in and do 20 minutes, do 30 minutes, go for a walk, go for a jog, do some sort of other physical activity, but get your body moving and get those things I talked about at the beginning of the video, the serotonin, the dopamine, the endorphins, get that stuff flowing because it will do a lot to help calm down your entire autonomic nervous system, which is only gonna help you with your feelings of stress and anxiety. Number 2, learn some diaphragmatic breathing exercises. Now, diaphragmatic breathing is nothing more than actually using your diaphragm to breathe, meaning that your stomach goes in and out when you inhale and exhale instead of scared breathing through your mouth where your shoulders are going right? That is not doing you any good, and there are tons of medical studies showing correlation between respiration and emotions. And if you can control your emotions, then you can control your anxiety and your stress levels much better. If you guys need examples of how to do this, I actually have a Wim Hof breathing video on this channel that teaches you that breathing technique, and that is a good example of it. But if you need more, just look up online because there are tons out there. Number 3, do some sort of daily meditation where you're trying to clear your mind and bring your whole system down. I actually have a video on this channel called Meathead Meditation where I tell you my experience with meditating and how much it helped me. But being able to control your thoughts and clear your mind is going to do a ton to stop those ruminating thoughts. And when you're up in the middle of the night because of those things that just won't shut up in your head, learning how to meditate can do a lot to bring you back down and hopefully take you to sleep to help your recovery and help your progress in the gym. Number 4, learn some somatic calming exercise. Now, somatic calming is basically doing things to your body that is going to help bring your system down, trigger your parasympathetic nervous system to get that sympathetic nervous system out of its crazy mode as much as possible. Now, I am not an expert on somatic calming techniques whatsoever, but there are tons of channels on YouTube that do nothing but that. So just search that and find out what works for you, because for a lot of people, this can do a ton to bring their entire system and network down to a much more manageable level. Number 5, engage in some sort of static stretching or yoga or some sort of mobility. I actually have a video on this about an entire lower body stretching routine on my channel if you guys need some ideas of what to do. But do something physically that brings your body down instead of ramping it up all the time like you do in the gym or like the anxiety is doing to you. Find things that calm your system because that will help bring down that anxiety. Number 6 is journaling. Now, most likely if you're watching this, you are a male. And if you are a male, then there's a highly good chance that you do not like talking about your feelings. And if that describes you, you still need to get all this negativity out of you somehow. Otherwise, it just builds up and builds up and builds up until it explodes, right? So sometimes just writing bad things down and getting them out can help a lot. But I also really like the idea of gratitude journaling, where you write down things that you are very thankful for. The fact that you can breathe, the fact that you have legs, the fact that you have the internet, the fact that you have a loving wife or parents or something good in your life, because it's very hard to focus on all the bad things if you're kind of turning that around and focusing on good things. So either get the bad stuff out by writing it down, and then also write down some things that you are thankful for, and that can do a lot to change your mindset. Number 7, a lot of you are not gonna like this one because it actually involves you talking about your feelings. But if you have an understanding family member or a good friend or a coach or a counselor, hopefully someone like me, that you can actually express some of this stuff to and get it off of your chest and take that weight off your shoulders, it can do a ton. It can also make you realize that everyone's got something going on, you know what I mean? Like everyone has something, and being able to talk to somebody about it and just Realize that you're not alone in this battle and that hard things do pass can do so much to help you bring down that stress and bring down that anxiety, which can help all of your performance and just make your life a lot better. So I know you don't want to talk to somebody, but find someone that you trust and just get some of this stuff out of you. Number 8, get your focus off of yourself. When we are extremely stressed out or have a lot of anxiety, we become very me focused. You're like, I have this problem. This is happening to me. I can't get this right. My job, my parents, my siblings, my whatever the case may be. It becomes very, very self-focused, and one of the best ways to break that cycle is to do something for somebody else. Do some sort of service. Go help an old lady cut her grass. Go help a child learn something. Go teach someone something at the gym. Do something that is in service to someone else, and you'll be shocked that while you're actually doing that, if you're giving 100% of your effort, it is very, very tough to focus on you and your own problems. So sometimes you need to take the focus off yourself, go serve someone else, and it can do a ton to help you out. And finally, number 9, use positive coping techniques like problem-focused coping. This is where you attack your anxiety problem head on. So let's say you have financial issue problems and you don't know how you're going to pay your taxes. Well, instead of just sitting there wondering how it's going to go and what's going to happen and all the bad things, instead create and stick to a very good budget. And that can take so much stress off you when you actually have a roadmap or a plan of how to attack this. Or you can use emotional focused coping, which is when you change your perception of an event. So maybe you are going to a new job, or you're moving places, or you're getting a divorce, or something bad, or that you are perceiving as a bad thing is going on in your life. And instead of just thinking about all the negative things that could possibly happen, switch your brain around and think about how a new job could be new opportunities. A new house could be you might move into your next best friend. It might be the best thing that's ever happened to you. So sometimes changing your perception of an event can really take a lot of that anxiety away and do things. So there you guys go. There are 9 ways that will help you get rid of your stress and your anxiety. All right, so like I said, it's a little bit different video than you guys normally get from me. However, this stuff is so incredibly important because the body will not go where the head has not gone. If you are so stressed out and you have so much anxiety going on, it is doing nothing but wreaking havoc on your physical performance. So you need to learn how to cope with it and do different strategies to actively combat all the negative stress in your life so that you become more positive. You can get back to doing the normal things in the gym. Now, here's the truth for everybody. Hard things happen, and they're going to continue to happen. And I'm assuming if you're watching this, you're an adult, so you have some sort of responsibilities. You have bills to pay. You have a mortgage. You have children. You have a spouse. You have a job. You have things that are actually hard, right? The hard things are going to happen in your life. But the thing is, it's not whether something bad is going to happen. It is what you do when something bad happens that really determines what kind of person you are. So now you guys have some strategies actively to combat these things, and hopefully some of you are still here and you actually will get something out of this video. I thank you guys so much. This stuff is such a passion of mine. You guys know I've always been about mindset, but especially now that I'm learning more and more about the different systems in the body and things that you can actually do to control and manipulate your levels of arousal. So like things like flipping the switch or taking the stress out of your life. Those things are so incredibly important for your physical performance. So I hope a lot of you found this helpful. I thank you guys so much for absolutely everything you do to help support this channel. These coaching calls are exactly what I'm talking about. Most people who call me with a coaching call have a couple technical questions, but for the most part, they know what to do. They know how to do it. They're just not doing it for whatever reason, right? And that is really the core of the issue, is why are you not getting the best workouts that you can? Why are you not consistently eating the same things? Because we all know that consistency is the key to uncommon results. So this stuff is massively, massively important. I thank you guys so much for your time and your attention. I will catch you guys later in the week. Till I do, go out something amazing, relax, keep working hard, people. Be nice to each other. Thanks.